Welcome in the configuration class of static routing. Here we have three routers R1, R2, R3. We are using the subnet 10.1.12.0 between R1 and R2, and we are using subnet 10.1.23.0/24 between R2 and R3. And we have already created three loopbacks, one on router R1 which is 1.1.1.1, 2.2.2.2 on R2, and 3.3.3.3 on R3. So let's begin the configuration on R1 of static routing. So for that we have to go in configuration mode, type the command ip route 10.1.23.0.255. this is the subnet mask. And what is the next hop? The next hop is 10.1.12.2. again we have to type the command for 2's loopback, which is 2.2.2.2, and the subnet mask is this, and for 3's loopback, which is 3.3.3.3. so this is the static routing configuration of router R1. so we can check by this command show run section route, and we can paste it out for your knowledge. This is the R1 configuration. Now go to R2. we already have the information about the subnet 10.1.12.0 and 23.0. so we have to configure only two static route. One is for one's loopback, which is this. Next hop is 10.1.12.1, and one is for 3's loopback, which is this. And the next hop is 10.1.23.3. this is all about R2 configuration. Because we already have the subnet information, so we have only configured the static route for the loopbacks of R1 and R3. Now same for R3. Go to R3 and first of all configure the route for the subnet 10.1.12.0, because you don't have directly connectivity for this subnet. And the next hop is this, and then configure the static route for one's loopback. Right, and one is for 2's loopback. Right, so this is the configuration of static routing under R3. You can check by this command, and I have just pasted it here so that you can note it down in your copy, and further you can do it by yourself. So for verification, go on R1 and type the command show IP route. Once you type this command, you will get to know that now you have a static route for router 2's loopback, router 3's loopback, and the subnet between router 2 and 3. And you can see here the AD value is 1, because the AD value of static routing is 1, and we don't have any metric used, because we are configuring and we are using here only static routing. We are not using any dynamic routing protocol. So just try to ping. We have reachability, and here also we have reachability. What is the main concept of static routing is, once you go and try to ping the loopback of another router, just try to type show IP route this particular subnet. Then you got to know that the next hop 10.1.12.2, this should be reachable. If this network is not reachable, then the configuration which you did of static routing is not valid, right? So for verification, you need to just check like this, show IP route 1.1.1.1, and you need to find the next hop, and you should have reachability to that next hop anyhow. Otherwise the command which you have run for that particular route is not valid, right? So through this way you can verify your static routing. So this is the configuration which we did, and I think this is enough for CCNA static routing configuration. Thanks. Hello friends, welcome again. Here in this topology I'll take two routers. Here one router is working as a DHCP server and one router is working as a DHCP client. So my target is, today's goal is to make R1 as a DHCP server and R2 get the IP address from R1 dynamically, right? So for that we have to go to R1 and let's suppose go to interface and no shut that and provide an IP address, let's suppose 10.1.1.1, and it's 255.255.255.0, right? Then we have to type the command here, IP DSCP pool. Let's suppose I have created a pool name which is Cisco. Let's suppose new tech, new tech, right? Then we have to provide the network. You can see, you can just question mark and find out what are the commands, network number and mask. So you can assign the network command which is 10.1.1.0 and mask. Okay, then you get /24, not taking like this, then you can 255.255, sorry, done. Then IP default gateway, default router is, let's suppose this router. IP DSCP excluded address. I want to exclude address. Let's suppose I'm excluding the interface IP address of R1 because I have already assigned this IP address on an R1 interface. So I don't want this interface to be assigned to any client, right? So this is the configuration of DSCP, right? I've created a pool, I have assigned the network, and I have assigned the default router. So if you go to R1 and go to the interface and type the command no shut IP address DSCP. So once you type this command on R2, this means R2 will get the IP address from R1. Let's see. Now see, I get the IP address from R1 which is 10.1.1.1 and this is getting by DSCP. Here if you go on R1 and type the command show IP interface brief, you can see here it's manual. So this is the difference. So you can dynamically get the IP address by this. Here you can no need to configure a lot of commands. It's only 3 commands, which is IP DSCP pool. You have to create a pool. Then after you have to assign the network which you want to provide, and then what is the default router, right? Thanks for listening. Hello friends, welcome again in the class of basic CDP and why we use CDP. CDP is used to identify the information about the neighbor device through which we are connected, right? So in this topology I took 2 routers, one is router 1 and one is router 2, and I'm using the subnet 10.1.12.0 between them. Okay, so you can see the basic configuration here. Show IP interface brief on router 1. I have just assigned the IP address on an interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and this is the IP address. On R2 also same thing, we have the connectivity. Okay, now the work of CDP. Let's suppose you only have access on R1 and you want to know about the information neighbor device. So what you can do, first of all, you can run the command show CDP neighbor. By the help of this command you can got to know that your neighbor device is R2 which is connected to your local interface 0/0. The total hold down timer is 145 seconds, and this is a router because this R means router. Platform is 3640 and the interface of neighbor device is fast Ethernet 0/0, right? If you want more information about the neighbor device, then in that case you have to type the command show CDP entry star. By the help of this command you will get to know about the IP address of the device, the hold down time of the device, the total number of ports, the version of the device, software release, and the duplex mode. All this information you can get to know by this. Okay, then show CDP interfaces. This says on which interfaces our CDP is enabled. Here it shows that on fast Ethernet 0/0 it's up, right? And the CDP packet hello timer is 60 seconds and the hold down timer is by default 180 seconds, right? And one more command you can run, you can see here, show CDP traffic. So by the help of this command show CDP traffic, you can get to know what are the advertisement, how many advertisement you receive, total output packet is 7, total input packet is 7, right? So these are the information you can get to know by CDP. This is basically used to identify the neighbor device and the information about that particular device, right? If you want to disable CDP on an interface, then you go to the interface, no CDP enable. So once you type this command on an interface, it will take 60 to 180 seconds to, let's suppose go into the interface of R2. Right? Then show CDP neighbor. CDP is not enabled. Right? Here also, where we can run this command. We run this command, let's suppose our router is connected to a public domain device where we don't want to share our information. In that case, you can go to the interface level and disable the CDP by this command, right? This is all about basic CDP configuration in CCNA. Thanks.